Hi, guys. Let's see, we've got 3 people coming in. This is not the time for my voice to go out. No. So I plan to be reading for about an hour. If you have a yes or no question, please feel free, like Sandy's done, to put it in the comments area here, and I'll star it so that I can read on it. That signal isn't the greatest. I wonder, am I choppy right now? Let me see. Yeah, it's a bit not the best. I wonder if I should start this over. We'll see if that signal doesn't get better. We'll see. How is this right now for you guys? Okay? Okay. All right. So right now, I guess we're just lurking, but right now I'll go ahead and start to read on Sandy's question because she put that in. I see your question, Vixen Doe. Thanks for hanging about. And a happy Sunday to everyone that's watching. I really tried to keep it to an hour. Oh, good. Tracy, thank you for the feedback. I needed to know whether or not the connection was good. Because for one thing, I can't imagine anyone wanting to sit and listen through 2 hours of playback of a live. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think an hour or an hour and a half is good. So we'll just see. That's what I'm aiming for. And okay, I've got Vixen's and I've got Sandy's question. All right, so Sandy, I'm going to cover your question first, and I'm just going to put your question up for the moment. That you've just changed a door that your husband had made, your husband that your late husband, and you wanted to know basically if he approved of the change. And sorry for the wound back if you can hear it. All right. Let me see. Let me just try and tune in for a moment and shift off of being distracted from my own reading, from my noisy wound vac, and it takes us a minute. All right. Let's see. I'm so curious about how the cards I will get for this, what will be used to convey feelings one way or another. About what he feels about the door and the change. Oh, this one popped right out. The King of Cups. I think that he's saying that I think he's identifying himself as the King of Cups. I mean, really, out of a deck. Hi, Bora, and JR. Out of the deck of 78 cards, it's so crazy that we are getting a masculine card, of a king that pops straight out. It's making me think, hey, your husband's letting you know that he's aware and he's here. And I feel like he's giving me the card of the King of Cups. And I think, though, there is some nostalgia for the door with the King of Cups because the King of Cups is very kind of tender. I believe that he's understanding. But he's also, this is interesting, you get also the card that deals with the house, the home, and celebration. So I think he approves, though he understands. If that makes sense to you, I hope so. Hey, Bora, thank you. Thank you for showing support. I appreciate it. On your way out, be sure to hit the thumbs up. Thank you so much. So I think he does appreciate it, and he's letting you know that he's aware and watchful, that he does still feel connected very much, even I think more so now that he doesn't have to carry the everyday weight of this world. So I feel like he is aware and watchful, and he appreciates it. And I think he understands why you had to change it. All right, Tracy, I'm going to take that. Okay, JR, I've got your question. Yeah, you can ask that question. That's fine. JR. Let's see. Now is not the time, boys. Now is not the time. Excuse me. Okay, so our next question is from Vixen Doe. I'm going to take a sip of my ginger ale. Weather here is beautiful in Northern California. It's like perfect. It's like 70 degrees. And kind of balmy. Just nice. All right. Okay. So, do I have a dragon guide? Okay, Vixen Doe. Let's see what we got. Yes or no? Does Vixen Doe have the dragon, interdimensional dragon, for a guide? Let's see what I get. 8 of Pentacles. I would say this is definitely a yes. And this card would indicate that it is for really developing your muscles, developing your skills, training, teaching. It is about learning and gaining skills and work in the earthly realm. So just first off the get-go, this is a yes card, but then it also kind of adds a little. It makes me feel like, yeah, and definitely is there specifically to have some specialized growth that's exceptional. Who knew, right? Now I'm going to pull just because I always do. And maybe when you deal with conflict in particularly, maybe when you're working and dealing with conflict, this is some kind of, I think, can make you feel more comfortable, can make you feel more protected, perhaps, or like you're not jumping into the deep end alone. It might make you feel more confident. And to realize your own strength. It's just to realize more in depth about the energy that is around, and that you've got powerful energy to draw upon. Okay? I hope that's helpful. All right. Let's see here. Okay, Tracy. My son works a lot. Will he ever find someone to share his life? Maybe have a child with? Sandy says about her husband and the door. Yes, it makes sense that he was trying. Yes, it makes sense. He was just trying to get all the jobs done inside and outside the house before he died. Unfortunately, the joiner wasn't that great. Well, that does make sense and why he would understand. So it also makes me want to say to you, I'm sorry, just hang on a second and I'll do yours, Tracy. But Sandy, I would just really want to say also that it just makes me feel like he wants to convey to you that he's active in awareness of what is going on with you and the place, and probably more so than even before, because again, he's not saddled with an earthly brain to block the way of being able to understand how you're feeling perfectly, so on and so forth. Okay. Tracy, your son works a lot, and will he ever share his life with someone and have a child? Let's take a look and see what we get. Okay. Tracy's son. Will he meet someone with whom he will have a healthy, long-term relationship with? And children. Is that on the horizon? for Tracy's son. Is there a healthy relationship? A settled down kind of relationship? Okay, let's see what we get. Wanted to give him a good shuffle. You're welcome, Vixen Doe, because we're reading, ooh, that's crazy. I'm reading a number of different people, so I like to try and keep control of this as much as I can, because I'm answering one person and starting a reading on the next, and then my brain starts. Okay, so your son works a lot and about finding someone. Okay, I see some trauma here coming up, and I think we're looking at probably past relationships. I don't know if he's had, I think he needs to maybe work on some self-esteem. I think he feels down on himself is the feeling I get, and a bit stung from the past. But he's gotten through it, and I think maybe he needs to focus on the fact that he's had the strength to make it through it, and that he's not some less than acceptable. I feel like there's maybe feeling like he's not enough. He needs to understand that he's more than enough, just as he is. But where he might want to work is on the understanding that this is true. It's so hard. And so, to try to feel that way when you feel down about yourself. But if he just realized, if he could just realize his true identity, in the sense that he's not just this guy, but not to sound like a dork, but that we're eternal beings. We need, when we get down on ourselves, we need to think about that. That's pretty awesome. And that this is just a sliver of an experience. I think that we're getting a message here, though. Before this can happen, there's something very much that he needs to work on himself with regard to esteem and mentally where he is at. Really get that strong sense of, he needs to understand that he's got what it takes. And he may have had misunderstandings and things in the past, but he just needs to continue to work on his esteem. And it shows me a man that's working, but who also feels like maybe people have been sneaky in his past, or that people haven't been completely forthright, or they've tried to get away with something, tried to pull the wool over his eyes in some way. I don't know if this makes sense to you, but these are the cards that are coming up for him with regard to this. So these are real issues that if he can, I think, come to terms with, it kind of clears the field so that he can experience something more. But until he's willing to work on this and let go of this fear, I think he's going to have to go through that. But here's something that looks very promising. Here's the 9 of Cups and the 6 of Wands. And to me, this is potentially like he meets that person and it recognizes them, and somebody recognizes him for who he is. What a catch. It's kind of that vibe. Yeah, and there's a sense of celebration, but it comes after a delay. But it's a good delay because it gives him introspection. So that does fit, Tracy. I'm so glad. I'm so glad that you are here to, y'all are here to give me validation, because you guys, I'm getting this. And I don't know you from, God love you, but I don't know you. I don't know if this is hitting or missing. I depend on your rapport here to let me know whether I'm hitting the mark or missing. So it looks like there is hope, but what he needs to understand is that it's now time for him to work on himself, and that he should enjoy doing it because he's long deserved this. I think he's denied himself any sense of worthiness. And he's, there's somebody that desperately needs him as much as he needs them. But he needs to be able to believe in himself. And that way, well, it's so weird how once we do that, it switches the energy and it changes it. And we start experiencing totally different situation. I know because of I'm older and I've done that in my past. And I think a lot of the older people watching this can go, yeah. So I think it's one of those deals. But he's going to meet someone, I see. But it's ahead yet. Yes. Tell him not to give up. Not to give up. Because I do see him meeting someone. But his main focus really needs to be not on outside of himself, but on, okay, in order to pull toward me the type of healthy relationship I want to have, I need to make sure that I'm going to draw that. If I'm showing insecurity and I'm feeling insecure and I'm not comfortable with myself, this is probably not going to go very well. My picker will be off. And we can settle for people that are nowhere near the people we imagine them to be or want them to be. So in order not to keep, picking the same pattern again, we have to kind of stop and reevaluate. And I think if he does that and he comes to realize that, hey, it's not all me. And relationships, there's more than one person in it. So not everything is your fault and not everything is someone else's fault, right? I think he just needs to regain his confidence and perspective. Thank you, Sandy. This really means a lot. I enjoy doing this. This is something that, because like I've said before, I don't read in private. My private time off the computer is my private time because I need it. I'm healing still. I'm falling asleep, y'all. Because I'm still healing. But I really love doing this. I like to reach out and make a difference, and you guys help me by giving me validation and whatnot in response. So I really appreciate this, and it's a good thing to do. And thank you so much for your gratitude. I appreciate your appreciation. All righty. Thank you so much. All right, let's see. Let's get to the next one. Okay, I think it was JR's question. I'm sorry, you guys. It's like my allergies today. It's beautiful. But my sinuses are playing up a little. Okay, so we are going to look at, have you heard 2 months ago? Okay, this is about Rex, the Gilgo Beach killer was caught. Okay, she wanted to ask a question, and that's fine. All right. So there were 3 unidentified persons that were found on Gilgo Beach. Okay. Will they be identified? Oh, yes, the Asian man that they thought may have been trans. So maybe I'm saying he, but let's just say they. Especially if they were trans, they may have been gender fluid. And then there was a mother-daughter. That's right. There was a mother and a young child. Ugh. All right. You know what? I'm going to switch out to this other deck just to give this one a break. I just shuffled these prior to coming on to the live so that they'll be clear. All right. Let's take a look at this. Let's see. All right. So we're going to break this down. All right, just the first off, there's 2 things I wanted to look at. But firstly, let's look at, will these 3 unidentified persons that are victims of the Gilgo Beach killers, will they be identified? It's weird. I just got a flash, and I'm just going to share it with you. It may not be anything, but for some reason on the Asian possibly trans person, that for some reason something may come up with like DNA for them. Now, I don't know why. That's just something that came into my mind, so I'm just sharing it. It could be a hit, it could be a miss. But sometimes when I don't share, you guys, that's when it comes in, and people are like, "Oh yeah, sure you did." It's like, no, I did think that. I just didn't share it. Okay, let's see. Will the 3 victims that are unidentified from Gilgo Beach be identified in the future? Let's see what we get. I'm always sliding. Pretty soon it's just going to be hands. All right, anyway. I'm getting interesting, like the work card, the skill card. So yes, I think that they will be. And this is a yes card. Okay, this is also DNA. I'm getting a flashes again. That my first flash on the Asian, potentially trans person, I think is accurate, because I felt like there was some improvement or sensitivity to do with the DNA and that kind of thing. And this makes me feel that again. And this card, when I read on folks that in true crime, this is one of those specialized cards that of DNA and forensics that has proven time and time again to me when it's come up when reading on true crime, for me to be a card that indicates someone that specializes in forensics and that kind of thing. So I definitely, this looks positive to me. And it shows I think the cruelty that they were shown. So I feel like, yeah, they're going to come up with some more answers too, I think, to do with them and maybe how hard their lives were. Lovers and the sun. So there is exposure. And we do have, at least 2 people. This could be the especially then the mother and child. And here's the child as well. And there's 2 adults here. So this could be all 3, honestly. Using the cards literally, intuitively as well. And with the card of yes with the sun and exposure, getting answers and their harmony. And I think marrying up family, there's that energy with the lovers that gives me that vibe too, because we also have the angel up here bringing the 2 together here. So yeah, I do think that it is meant. I'm just getting another flash that it is meant that they are meant to be their names recovered, is what I got. Okay, I hope that's helpful. I think that was pretty good given the whirly energy of that case. It is, but those cases, I must be macabre. I've always been the spooky little kid, but I've always wanted to know. It just makes me angry that anyone should do this to someone else and get away with it. How dare you? How dare you? There's no need for this. Oh, sorry, guys. I got to ranting and carrying on. And to anyone suffering from allergies right now, you have my complete and utter sympathy. I didn't take my tablets this morning, but my daughter says, my youngest one says she did. And she's had it really bad. And then we got COVID going around. My brother got it. Oh, sorry. Just catching you all up on my live. That's the other thing I do. So yes, they believe that he was trans. Yeah. Well, we're saying he, but we don't, that was just the physical sex. So I will just say they, yeah. Okay, Erica, I'm going to mark your question and you'll be next. I'm just going to finish up JR's question. And let's see, DNA for the win. Yes. Again, these are responses in concern to the Gilgo Beach unidentified victims being identified. I do see that, and that makes me really happy, because when I get that kind of a clear, concise boom, boom, boom like that, I feel very confident. And usually what I'll see might even be years later, but I've seen it, where the case gets resolved. And now, especially with DNA, more of these older cases are being, with time and technology, solved, which is very exciting. Maybe they will find the child's father. It's possible. It's possible. And Rex, there's so much weirdness in that, with that guy and his family. Okay. Let's take a look at Erica's question. All right. Okay. So, okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. The Russian hikers that perished in the Ural mountains in Siberia. I've got it running through my mind. I know which case this is about. And now I know that the theory most recently, just so you know, because I did see this, was that there was an avalanche, and that the taking off the clothes was said to have been part of the hypothermic reaction, because you can start to feel very hot and kind of act disoriented. That's what they're thinking has happened to these people. The Dimitrov Pass, something like that, right? So was their deaths supernatural? So let's just take a look. I'm willing to look. That's what I saw scientifically given. I thought it was fairly plausible as possible from what I've read about people that have gotten lost and died of exposure. But let's take a look, because, we never know. I'm not there. I'm not omnipotent, knowing everything that's going on. Thank goodness. Because it's all pretty tiring from my end, I'll tell you. I'm one of those people that has to recharge. I'm an introvert. I could be shuffling better today, but this deck kind of does it to me. It snags. All right, let's see. So was that 1957 Russian backpackers, hikers, mountain hikers, was that event supernatural in origin? Was there any element, let me just put it this way too, was there any element of their horrible deaths that had a definite supernatural, quote unquote, element? Let's take a look at that. I have to put aside my own biases in mind for a minute, and it does take me a moment, so let me just kind of check my baggage. Okay, let's see what we get. We get the wheel, and it means change and movement. So, that could be the avalanche part, but moving things, forces moving, but maybe that force that initiated it was connected supernaturally. You're asking the question, I'm answering. So I'm pulling the second card, because again, we all know that though I say one card, I actually mean two, because I can never stop at one, just like potato chips. We get the fevered mind, it feels like the Ace of Wands. This kicks off some kind of kinetic energy, too, of the Ace of Wands. I think that the actions, some definitely, I think they sensed it. I think there was some kind of, I'm not going to lie, I do think it's saying yes with both of these cards as yes. Because if you look these cards up in yes, no, these cards will be marked as a yes. So I'm just trying to flesh out a little bit, give you something a little bit more to chew on and why we're getting those particular cards. So that's very interesting that we get movement, literal movement, and this hectic then or this rapid pickup of energy suddenly with the Ace of Wands. That fire energy is moving, is what it's saying. What else? What else do we get? We get the Magician. I think it's a multitude because, like, you have to look at the magician's desk, so to speak, or their table, their altar. They have the elements. They have an order there, and they are using them. And so these elements are being utilized. Could somebody have set off the avalanche or set off, I don't know, this in other ways? I think, despite what I want to say, I think there's some element of manipulation. And yes, there could be an element, so far from these cards, of a supernatural source. And I get the Page of Cups. It's a surprise. It's something you don't expect. Maybe it's an interdimensional type of thing that kicks something off. Maybe some of these things that happen have a little rumble from the other side, so to speak, or the other dimensions and come through ours. I think that something like that can happen. There we are. It's the De La Pass incident. And Erica says they said a slab avalanche, but if you know all the details, it's impossible that was any avalanche. Interesting. Well, it's interesting because all the cards that I pulled here in asking if it was based in a supernatural, quote unquote, source, like it literally shows me cards of energy kicking off. I wasn't expecting that. I got to tell you, I wasn't. So that's very interesting. So there was a force of energy that was opened up and moved through. And I think interdimensional in some way that kicked it off. Did you guys see that in the cards? That's what I saw. Let's see. Does anyone else? Good enough for me. Thanks. It's like the feeling that I got was like it disturbs our environment. It's like almost like a wave, if you will, that bleeds through. And I think that can happen with stuff. I think a lot of hauntings, for instance, could be that kind of alternative reality that bleeds through to ours that we experience. And, that's why we get the various types of experiences that we do. I agree, JR. Just so you know, just bouncing back for a moment to the Gogo Beach victims, I've always hoped that they would get justice. And I was so glad to hear when they had solved who it was. So it looks like we have more information yet to come from that will be shared, and that's amazing. Okay. Let's see. Anybody else have any questions? I'll just clear the decks for a moment and wait and see if anybody comes up with any more questions, because I've got about a half hour yet that I can read. So I could take like 3 or 4 more questions if anyone, depending on them, or I could also just look to dive deeper into some of the questions that have been asked. Okay, Erica, go for it. I like cheekiness. Go ahead and be cheeky. It's a Sunday afternoon. What do I have to do? My nose is starting to drip. I have to find a tissue. That's what I get for not taking my antihistamines. Okay, Erica, I'll wait on your question. I'm going to go ahead and take my antihistamine. And I'll wait for Erica's question and see what she puts. The crows are crowing outside of my house. Okay, the drowning men with, oh yeah, the smiley face killers thing. Yeah, I've totally read up on that, so I know what this is about. Is there most, okay, are most of these caused by alien abductions and the drowning isn't the global byproduct? Okay. You know, I have no idea, and I'm just going to throw the cards and see what they say. So, are the victims of the smiley face types of scenarios, are those actually alien abductions? Let's see. Or part of alien abduction result of. All right. Let me shuffle these really good. So, within light of the smiley face types of victims, are these actually being abducted? According to Erica, she'd like to know, are these actually victims of alien abduction? I think that's what you're asking. Okay. Let's see what we get. Oh my God, we're getting the sun. Y'all, like, I'm surprised by that. This is a yes card. All right, what's the next one? The Page of Swords. Well, that deals with air and information and watching. Oh my God, it's being watched. Like, I'm getting like surveillance. So that would be an answer of yes. And maybe some of them were being watched by others, so to speak, of unidentified origin. I can't believe that. Ow. And that's what I get for that. Cut my finger on this darn card. But anyway, we get justice. Some kind of balance. Look, we do get the law pulled in. I gotta have another card. And the Chariot. Well, Chariot is usually a moving vehicle. Well, these things can go up from the ocean and through the air. But these two are together, the Justice and... That's weird. And the Chariot. Justice is sharp. Let's see. I'm going to have to tape down that edge. So, what is the decision to do this? There's some kind of balance. Oh, I see your question, Sandy. I'm marking it. You know what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wrap that finger because it's a little delicate. I'm healing my fingertips from a major allergic reaction because I have to have this certain type of a tape on my body for this wound vac, and my body does not like adhesive, period. And it lets me know every so often by giving me these blisters, and that's what was coming up. And I still have them coming up on my hands, little tiny ones. And they peel. So it was like, oh my God, I got to peel all this skin. Gross, right? Anyway, I'm finally getting them to heal, but they stung so bad I could barely stand to have water touching them. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to say yes, that some of them, there might be some kind of connection that way. All right. Now, on to Sandy's question. And let me give this a shuffle while I read it and think about it. And thank you all for sitting here with me. I really appreciate it. And for those of you that come in later and watch the recording, thank you so much. I would appreciate it if all of you would be so kind to remember to give us a thumbs up. It helps my algorithm. And I appreciate you watching this video and participating in the live. Okay, so Sandy, your mother-in-law and father-in-law around you. Oh, I'm sure they are. Just for, you're welcome, Erica. My pleasure. Thanks for asking some really off-the-wall fun stuff. I appreciate that. It can, it breaks things up. If you've not had a near-death experience or a spiritually transformative experience or a shared near-death experience, I've had some of these experiences. And what happens is once we are not bogged down with this body that blocks a lot of information and understanding, we can be present to our loved ones. We're able to feel what they feel and think, and we know stuff like, watch some of the NDE stuff, Sandy. If you haven't, I would highly recommend that, because your mother-in-law and father-in-law are definitely around you. And especially if you were close in life, I feel like they're there. Immediately when I saw that, oh yeah, they're right there. But that this is not unusual. This is, for people we're close to, you can bet that they are with you. Very supportive of you when you join the family, and you couldn't have, okay, oh, for sure then. But let's just see what the cards, right? Let's just see what the cards will show. Because that's what we like to do here. We kind of like to test the cards and just see what cards we get for the questions asked. So, the in-laws are Sandy's mother-in-law and father-in-law. Are their spirits watching over Sandy? Are they tuned in, shall we say? And I get yes. And I just get such a positive feeling. But that's without the cards. Now I'm going to see what the cards want to say. When I wear black and I brush out my hair, I don't have dandruff, but I have long red hair and a moth flying off. Oh, look, we've got the King of Pentacles, so I feel like that's definitely perhaps the father-in-law. And I'm getting the Five of Swords. I don't know, there's a protective sense here. And I feel like this is a male energy that's very protective, especially from bullying or somebody that wouldn't be kind to you or take advantage of others. I don't know if this masculine energy is recognizable to you, if that was part of his... yeah, they are together. Take a look at this. The Two of Cups and the wonderful Nine of Cups. There the two of them are, happy and at peace. And I do get a male energy that's very protective, especially when it comes to bullying. If that makes any sense. Oh, I hope that's helpful. So yes, Sandy, And there's a male energy particularly connected to you that doesn't like bullies. So if anyone has been bullying you or being rude to you, oh, Sandy says, yep. And hey, Tyler, I see you, otherwise known as Ash Foster Music. I am not doing too badly. So Sandy, most definitely. And I think that's their way of giving you a signal of something that only you would know, that I certainly wouldn't know what significance this might mean. So I'm glad that it makes sense to you, and because they show up there. And as far as I'm concerned, the cards show like, yeah, you have a couple very much in love and very happy, and they will be waiting for you on the other side. That's the wonderful thing. We don't have to carry on with all of this heaviness, because this planet is very dense. If you've ever been out of your body and you have to come back in, if you've ever had a bad landing back into your body, how painful that can be and weird. Okay, your question is, what is going to come out of me joining a spiritual church this morning? Cool. You felt very welcomed and loved there, felt like you were led to go there for a while. That's really cool. Let's take a look. Okay. Let me just give this a really good shuffle. It is absolutely balmy here at the coast near San Francisco. For once, we don't have the June gloom. It's kind of given way to July. We can still get a lot of fog in July, but we've been very fortunate. Unfortunately, the inland is like boiling over, but at the coast, we're at a kind of a muggy 70. But it's very, be comfortable just in a t-shirt and shorts like I am right now. Rather than like you see me usually in a sweatshirt. That's San Francisco clothing. Okay, so let me focus on the spiritual church and Ash here, or Tyler as I also know him, and the spiritual church. Oh, my hands are warming up. Maybe that's a good sign, because it lit up my reading energy, my spiritual energy to read. And again, if you hear my wound back sounding like a horse in the background, thanks for being so patient. Okay, let's take a look and see what we get. Anything Spirit wants to share about this new spiritual church? What do we need to know about it? What should Tyler know about it? The spiritual church that he joined. Felt so welcome, felt so good there. Okay, let's see what we get. Ooh, we get the High Priestess. That's perfect. It looks like you're going to get some spiritual growth going on and learning, I think, new spiritual, truth that's more esoteric in nature. There's different things that you're going to learn that isn't generally taught. That's kind of like going out of body, doing stuff like this. It's feeling like that because she's the teacher and she has the information from behind the veil. And look at the peace. You'll have peace of mind. So that's very good. It's also very healing. Helps you to keep your mind more ordered and helps you to keep more orderly or organized. Even these, I'm just giving you what's coming to me with the cards. That's what I do on Sundays with y'all. And look, this is good. It's going to teach you how some growth in self-control, where before you may have allowed yourself to be drained by people, and situations. This is a dawning of a new morning of strength and maturity and self-control. So it looks like it's a good place to be. You're hot in Orlando. Oh my God. I bet now. I'll take this. I can't do that kind of heat. I already got introduced to something I never knew about this morning. The speaker did a class about Native American medicine. Yeah, and that's very interesting stuff. Very interesting. It really connects up to the four directions and the elements, which is, what we're using when we go to read our tarot with the different suits, the different energies, all connected. So I think it's going to be a key that unlocks a lot of doors of the unknown to you with that high priestess, that you're going to be learning about things you didn't know and different techniques. And I registered for a class, with a professor that actually goes to that church. He's going to be my choir professor. That's cool. That sounds really cool. I like the support and the positivity there. And I see what so far looks like really helpful to your maturing as a person and your growth with your sensitivities and your skills spiritually. Your psychic ability, in particularly, I think will be strengthened, Tyler. So that looks really good. Okay, I've got about 5 minutes left. How about I just see what Spirit wants to share with everyone that might watch this video, that is here now, and that might watch this video later. What is the message from our spiritual mentors, our guides from the other side? Well, I say the others. They're with us no matter what side we're on, no matter where we go. When we come to this earth, they, keep an eye on us. Hi, at Altar 30. I am fine. You can ask one yes or no question very quick, because this is the last 5 minutes of my live. So keep it to a yes or no, if you can. Question. Phrase it in a yes or no way. And I will read on it. And that'll be the last question of the live. That would be perfect. Okay. Does Mia have feelings for me? Or is it Mia? Okay. Okay, and Jackie, I can do yours too, very quickly. Oops, wait a minute. Want to get... Does Mia have feelings? Let's see. What are Mia's feelings toward Altar 30? Let me just dial into that and see if I can pick up anything. What does Altar need to know with regard to Mia's feelings? Okay, let's see what we get. We're being given the wheel of fortune. There is something that is fated, not fated. This is also with the wheel of fortune, a definite change, usually for the better, but can also be like a move. We get I sense they're being patient. I don't know if they're waiting for more growth or a change or a certain event, but it looks like they're waiting. There's a goal. And so I think they're working on something by the looks of this. Maybe this could be like work and school, but it looks like they're focused on some goals for themselves. And it would make a considerable change in their life with the Wheel of Fortune. It might actually move them. I get the Emperor and the Knight of Cups. This looks like a father figure, and then I don't know if you are this younger person here with the Knight of Cups. That is, it almost gave me the energy of someone showing some kind of asking the Father or meeting the Father or something along these lines. But there's definitely a feeling of someone making an offer, coming forward with an offer. Their emotions are involved and connected, but it might be a father figure that, who knows, with her, that she's looking, has to consider. It looks like there's a pause in moving forward when I look at all the cards together. But that's going to only last so long, and then they're going to have the pressure with that Wheel of Fortune to move forward. It looks like there are feelings, but it looks like there's an older gentleman whose consideration has to be honored, if that makes sense. The Knight of Wands, and this, like something too quick or too passionate, might worry him, moving too quickly. Maybe it's that their feelings have a tendency to run that way, and they are being held back by a father type figure, or they're feeling like there's a little bit more guidance. Okay. I can see why you would be confused. I can see why you would be confused. And I would just suggest that you just step back and just allow her to let you know if she's interested in hanging out or doing whatever. I think the thing that we can make the mistake of doing is by chasing up people. You know what I mean? Like, we can kind of get fixated when they pull away. I would say believe in yourself and know that you're worthwhile. And if she can realize that, she'll get through that and work with her father. I feel like there's a father figure, though, that is affecting this. Okay. Oh my gosh, people are coming in at the last moment. All right. I really do have to stop it, Brenda. So, no more questions. I'm typing it in. No more questions. Closed. Okay, Brenda, you've made it in. You folks have made it in. So, just do your own thing. And, I think that don't take it personally. This is something she's got to work out. It's a little complicated because I do take super chat. I do. There should be a button there in the chat. Thank you. It looks like there's a family issue going on there, and it's complicating. And it has her kind of hung up. So I would just let her have a lot of space and let her come around. Because I think like there's a father that's mindful. Okay. Let's see the other questions I've got to get to that I starred here. All right. Rachel and then Brenda. All right. Does my husband, Isaac, still hope to fix our marriage? You're in a separation with no contact. Okay, you left him and you want a divorce. Okay, but you're curious if if Isaac is still hoping to fix the marriage. Okay, let me dial in for a minute on Isaac, see if I can do that. I can read some people easier than others. This is just the truth. Some people, you try and read on them and the cards just come up blocked. It happens sometimes for me. Not often, but it happens. All right, Isaac. Does Isaac have an interest to try to fix this marriage with Rachel? Does Isaac still want to fix this marriage? Does he have hope to fix the marriage? Or has he moved on? What do we need to know about Isaac and how he's feeling with regard to this ending of this relationship? Well, I see the Chariot. and the King of Wands. I get a feeling of him moving forward. Now, this could definitely him be wanting to win, for the sake of, if he views it as a point of winning the point, so to speak, it could also be that. But I'm feeling initially first the energy of someone that is actually like driving away or moving away. There's the Knight of Pentacles and the World. I think there's been a great deal of patience that's been shown, and going over or doing things very slowly. Maybe it's become dull. I don't know, because that is the slowest moving knight. The World is an end card, so I think there's a sense of finality with this and moving at some point forward. I'd say that if he were to think that, I would say this would dispel pretty quickly the notion of holding on. I tend to think of this as more of, I need to let go and move beyond something that I've held on to for a long time. So maybe initially, but this gives me hope that this person would realize, for the health and well-being of this situation, it needs to, come to its ending, conclusion. Definitely a conclusion. Something that lasts for a while meets an end. And it does show some sort maybe of work or possible therapy. I don't know whether it's for you or meeting someone at work or being trained. I'm not quite sure how this plays out, but it comes up after that end. So it makes me feel like, okay, I don't know if someone is looking, of the two of you, to learn new skills, move forward. But I'm just going to say that it looks to me more like he's going to come around pretty quickly to and that he really needs to continue forward. Okay, Rachel, I hope that's helpful. Okay, Jackie Henderson. Sorry. Is my brother around me? Okay. And then we have Brenda. Thanks for being patient, you guys. I really appreciate it. And I enjoy kind of these smaller lives because I can feel like I've really been able to read for people and give them a little bit more of my time. It's a little more relaxed. That light starting to come through my skylight, hitting me right in the eyeballs. Okay, so we'll finish up with Brenda after Jackie. But right now we're looking at Jackie's question about her brother and whether or not they are around her. Yes or no? I still need to shuffle these a little bit. Okay, I'm being told to go up to the different deck. I'm starting to do that more. I used to always find that I was actually fighting my intuition. A lot of the times it was like, don't do this. It's that subtle voice and you're like, yeah. And then you go ahead and do it and you go, I should have listened to my voice. Well, I'm starting to do that now. And it's like, well, for better or for worse, I might look like a clown, but I'll say what came to me. All right. Let's take a look. Jackie's brother. Is he around her? All right, let's see what we got. Yes, with the Three of Wands. This makes me feel, when I do readings on, especially where a person is crossed over, that he is watching. This is a way of him watching between worlds. See his feet are in one place, but he's looking beyond. And often when I'm doing readings for myself to do with more of my friends that have passed and things like that, and my guides, I'll get this. It's like, oh, okay, they're here. This is like, yeah, I'm with you. I got my eye on you. And look at this. You get the 2 and the 3 of Wands. Yeah, he's watching you. Definitely. Your brother is definitely with you. And he's aware of your travel. He's aware of when you're moving around, your thoughts. And even when you think you're alone and you're thinking, I wonder if he's around. Yeah, he's definitely there. It's just, I think, a matter of quieting ourselves and being able to kind of begin to sense that very subtle energy that's present. And once we begin to sense it, we can recognize it because it's unique. So I get, yes, your brother. Yeah, and you get the Ace of Pentacles, and he's there to give help. He might even guide you toward people that may be able to give you help and assistance that you might need with something. This could also have to do with money, something about finances or a loan or something of that nature that he's bringing up. I don't know if that makes sense, but he's letting you know that he's there to help. This is a card of help and offering a gift of help in the actual material world. And we did get the 2 of Wands and the 3 of Wands, which are fire. So that's our spiritual energy. That's our true form, is fire, because we're spirit. We're like the Holy Spirit. That is the fire that never goes out. That is a holy fire, also called Shekinah, I think, in Hebrew. So yes, he is definitely around you. And this is, once you just stretch your belief system a little bit, he's showing me some old-fashioned beliefs, kind of being mixed with some new inventive ideas. All right. So if that makes sense, I hope that you understand that Jackie, he definitely is. Thanks, Brenda. Thank you so much. Rob's thoughts for you. Okay, let's switch over. And Brenda, drum roll. We are officially at 1 hour and 7 seconds. No, minutes. Okay. And we'll definitely do a nice reading here, finishing up for you. Okay, Rob. Let's dial into Rob. And I ask these questions too about my guides and what do they think of me? Do they think I'm doing a good job? Because I don't want to have to come back here for a while. This is a hard life, being disabled, I'll tell you. Okay. Let's see what we get. Rob's thoughts. Let me know what Rob's thoughts are on Brenda. What does Brenda need to know with regard to Rob's thoughts about her? What does Brenda need to know about Rob's thoughts regarding her or concerning her, about her? What can we know? What does Spirit share? Okay, Brenda, here we go. Well, he gives us the 5 of Swords. And this is often, this can be when someone, let me see what comes with that, because that can be a difficult card. This could be someone that is secretly picked on. I don't know if this makes sense to you, Brenda, but I'm being shown someone's not being forward with something that they might sense. And it would have to do maybe about enduring abuse, frankly, where someone isn't nice or is having to endure some unfair behavior from another person. And it looks like it's kind of secretive. Like, I don't know if there was an abusive friend or spouse or somebody around, but I'm getting that. and that we're being shown there's hidden thoughts, and it has to do with bullying or someone that is not being treated well. Okay? Now, then I get someone that holds back with the Four of Pentacles. You can see the lady's holding on to her purse. She doesn't feel secure. He might realize that you have insecurities. And he's trying to, I think, perhaps encourage you out of them with that playful wand energy. I think he might feel that you block his energy, if that makes sense, that you're kind of closed off. Maybe you're afraid of being too trusting. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but it's kind of the vibe I'm getting, and kind of pulled back from maybe letting your light shine, your true light shine. Yeah, feels like you're holding part of yourself back. He might be thinking that. And here's a clarity with the Ace of Swords and the Magician. It is about, I think he thinks you're quite clever with the Magician. And he might also be thinking, if I play this game right, so to speak, and I don't mean that in a negative way, but meaning that if I treat this person maybe the right way, they'll open up to me and I'll get clarity. I think he's not clear exactly, but he wants clarity. If there's something that he could do differently, I feel like he'd like to know it. Because the Magician is to do with communication and clear communication. So perhaps he doesn't feel like he knows the full picture or has the full picture. And so there's a part of an energy that's being held back here. And I don't know if it's yours or his, but you're asking about his feelings with regard to you, his thoughts with regard to you. And it feels like, to me, he wants to be careful. There's a cautiousness. And it will become more clear. Maybe with conversation or just a heart-to-heart conversation would be good. Okay, now we get the Four of Wands. Ooh, and we get the Wheel. There's some change coming up, and I think it's an opening up of this energy. If you can get the clarity that you need by communication with using the tools of the Magician, of being intelligent, being patient, being, in a positive way. It doesn't always have to be manipulation, like in a negative way. It can be like using your tools to communicate in a healthy manner. Then we get this really positive change and an opening up. The energy opens up and it's positive. There's a more positive vibe going. And there's a change with that Wheel of Fortune rolling through. So I feel like any kind of confused behavior right now, or that's being held back, is going to shift once there is clarity and you know where you stand. And someone's holding back because maybe they don't feel like they have the clarity. Yeah, they might think that you're more of a hermit. They might think that you're more of an introvert or like more alone time. Maybe they just need to understand the time that you like to yourself. Because it looks like definitely recharging is necessary here with the Ten of Wands, right? Yeah, the Ten of Wands here, and then the Nine of Pentacles, like work and like working hard so that you have a nice environment or things that you like, and recharging. That's what I'm shown, Brenda. So I do think that this will open up, but I do think someone needs to be the one that does it, that steps forward with the Magician is being shown. So if you want to know exactly what Rob thinks, it looks like it would be good to go ahead and gauge the moment with that wisdom of the Hermit and the Magician, and ask. I think that you will get some clarity and things can move more positively forward in your communication with each other. Okay? I hope that makes sense and that has been helpful. Thank you all for making this hour and 15 minutes and 14, 15, 16 seconds so great. I look forward to coming back next Sunday, and I'm usually here on a Sunday unless my health comes up or something like that. Then I try to let you guys know as soon as possible. Otherwise, come back and bring your yes or no questions for me next Sunday, and I'll be happy to answer them. Once again, thank you so much, and make sure you're subscribed and hit that like button. Thumbs up. Thanks. Bye, guys. Thank you all so much.